Thank you very much, everyone, for being here. And please, if I talk too fast, do this. Or if I start to like sweat or anything, just calm down. I've had too much coffee already. And if something does not make sense, please raise your hand and ask questions. And whenever this man thinks that you need summarization, then he'll hop in as well. Before introducing myself, I'd like to ask Sharef, please introduce yourself.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm CJ's assistant. So I usually facilitate the workshops together with her. So later during the workshop, if you have any questions, any problems, just feel free to wave out to me and I'll come over and help you. Yep.
โอเคเรามีหลายคนที่จะช่วยนะครับไม่ต้องเกรงใจยกมือถามได้เลยนะฮะเพราะเรามีทั้งฝรั่งเรามีทั้งความหลากหลายเต็มไปหมดในห้องนี้นะครับก็ไม่ต้องเกรงใจแล้วผมกับอาจารย์พรเทพนะโดยเฉพาะผมเองก็จะมาอินแทคกับทุกๆโต๊ะนะครับอันนี้ไม่ต้องเกรงใจแล้วก็ถามได้นะครับเพราะว่าคือดีไซน์ thinking เนี่ยมันเป็นปรัชญาความคิดนะฮะที่เราเคยคุยกันก็คือเอาใจเขามาใส่ใจเราถ้าเราไม่เริ่มอย่างนั้นดีไซน์ thinking ไปต่อไม่ได้นะครับ
Awesome. Thank you. Is it work? You know you have to turn technology on before it works. Never mind. Okay. Hi, I'm CJ. I have a doctorate in business admin. I'm so happy. This is like stereo. I have a doctorate in business administration from Harvard Business School and started out as an IT professional. And accounting, entrepreneurship, a whole bunch of stuff. I've got 4 beautiful kids from all around Asia. And when I'm not feeding them, I feed and photograph sharks to relax. A lot easier than kids. So here's where I like to hang out. That's SP Jain School of Global Management in Singapore. And my center does 3 things: executive education, consulting, and research. We're researching the next wave of innovation called fusion. And DT is one of the things we teach. All right, so we've got some wonderful partners, wonderful clients. Let's move on. We've got fabulous mentors from, let's see. We've got the ambassador, we've got entrepreneurs, designers, technology futurists, corporate people, basically everybody. And they are all so happy to help if you have questions. Oh, say. Did anybody bring a phone?
ตามกันทันไหมครับทันนะโอเคครับ
Good. I want you, so that's my reminder to turn mine off, but leave yours alone. I want you to pair into 2s. 2, but okay, you're a 3. You're a 3. You're a pair, pair, 3. Okay. Here's what you're going to do. One person, can I see your phone, please? Or are you the only man who did not bring a phone? Okay. Okay. You're going to put the phone down, okay? Don't touch the phone. You're going to tell your partner how to enter a contact into your phone without touching it. Okay? Clear? Okay. You have, everybody, 1 minute. Go.
She said you have to tell your partner how to enter a contact without touching the phone. Unlock your phone.
ทราบนะครับก็คือบอกให้ไม่ต้องจับมือถือนะครับแต่บอกว่าจะใส่คอนแทคเข้าไปยังไงนะครับโดยที่ไม่ต้องจับไม่ให้โดนมือถือครับ โดนมือถือนะครับห้ามจับมือถือนะครับ
So you tell your partner how to enter a contact into your phone.
ก็คือเข้าไปในคอนแทคนะครับโดยที่ไม่ได้จับห้ามโดนมือถือครับต้องอธิบายให้ได้ครับ
I'll be a nice teacher and I'll reset your time. Are you okay? Okay. And go. So one described how to enter contact into help, Daddy help.
Okay.
Yes. Photographs when you're done. Send? Okay. And stop. Okay, if you haven't done it, you're done. Step 2. Step 2. Now. Oh, sorry, wrong table. Doctor, it's all coming back. Okay, now give your partner the phone and shh. Don't help them. Let them enter a contact into your phone. And 1 minute, go.
อันนี้ก็ให้พาร์ทเนอร์ที่เราอธิบายไปเนี่ยให้เขาเข้าคอนแทคโดยที่เราไม่ต้องยุ่งอะไรเลยว่าเขาจะเข้าได้หรือเปล่าก็เมื่อกี้เราอธิบายไปแล้วถูกไหมครับอันนี้เราก็ต้องปล่อยให้พาร์ทเนอร์เราเนี่ยเขาเข้าไปในคอนแทคของเราท่านก็ไปเปลี่ยนพาสเวิร์ดเองแล้วกันนะฮะตอนหลัง เพราะคนแปลกหน้ารู้พาสเวิร์ดท่านแล้ว
And stop. Now, who was able to very easily enter a contact? Okay, I don't want to talk to you. Who had a hard time entering the contact? Oh, she admits it. She's wonderful. He does. These are brave people. What made this kind of hard, other than my speaking?
Actually, the first one we interpret the wrong question, so that's why we cannot complete the goal. We just talk like, okay, I can tell you that you go to the group line and you can add me. That's it. But for the second round, you say that, okay, let your friend to do. And I did not tell what my password, so he don't know something like that.
Yeah, that makes it harder if you didn't tell the password, doesn't it? Every group, somebody doesn't tell the password. So number 1, you have to figure out what's the challenge, what are we supposed to do? And number 2, you have to remember all the little steps that you just do, but you don't think about and you don't describe. Did anyone else have trouble? Such as you?
Usually I use Samsung, but this iPhone I cannot use.
Thank you. That is my number 2 problem. Number 1, there's always a password problem. 2, iPhone people don't know how to describe their world to androids. Sorry to call you androids. I was one. I got better. Yeah, and androids don't know how to explain their world. Now, what could this mean when you're designing government services or products?
Jump in for a few minutes โอเคก็ประเด็นนะฮะเขาสรุปอย่างแรกก็คือทางโต๊ะเบอร์ที่4เนี่ยก็บอกเราว่าเราจะทำอะไรก็ตามเราต้องคิดถึงการท้าทายความท้าทายที่เราอาจจะทำประจำวันโดยที่เราไม่ต้องคิดมากใช่ไหมครับแล้วส่วนที่2ก็คือมันมีหลายๆระบบ ใช่ไหมฮะบางครั้งเราไม่ได้อธิบายเราไม่ได้ดูของเพื่อนว่าเพื่อนเขาใช้ระบบอะไรใช่ไหมครับเราอธิบายในระบบของเราใช่ไหมครับแล้วก็งานท้าทายกี้คือผู้พาสเวิร์ดเขาก็เลยบอกว่าจากประเด็นนี้ลองกลับไปดูซิว่าถ้าเกิดเราจะต้องออกแบบเซอร์วิสหรืองานที่เกี่ยวข้องกับการบริการในฐานะเราเป็นภาครัฐหรือจะเป็นภาคเอกชนก็ได้เนี่ยมันมีอะไรบ้างต่อไปนี่ก็จะเป็นสเต็ปต่อไปนะครับโอเคถามได้นะครับเมื่อกี้ที่ผมอินทรัพเพราะว่าผมดูสีหน้าทุกคนนะฮะแล้วผมพยายามจะอ่าน body language ว่าจะเป็นยังไง I just try to read the body language that's why I hate to interrupt if you don't mind no the body language not your okay
no worries
นะครับคือยกมือได้ไม่ต้องเกรงใจนะครับเพราะเวลานี้เป็นเวลาของทุกท่านนะครับผมอาจจะเป็นผู้ชายไม่ค่อยเซนซิทีฟกับ body language บางอย่างแต่ว่าผมพยายามจะสังเกตให้มากที่สุดนะครับ
Okay so what you have here is an introduction to why it's hard to design for other people. They don't know how to explain their world to you and their desires. That's a key difficulty. We will address it later with a very good story. But what we're going to do today, our first talk is going to be about what is design thinking, why does it matter, and how is it done? Okay? After we have a little break today, you're going to do some design thinking, defining a challenge. We've got an exercise for you from improvisational theater. Yes, we can use improv theater in business and government. You're going to get some practice with innovation techniques as a group. And then afterwards, you're going to do some more practicing on the second stage of design thinking. Okay, but first of all, are you going to? No. Okay, first of all, this is just an appetizer. Don't walk out of this room this afternoon thinking you can design think perfectly and expertly. It's only an introduction. Okay, first of all, what is it? Who has heard of design thinking? Raise your hands. All right. Who kind of knows what it is? Who's ever done a little bit? Okay, this is good. Now I'll look really, really smart. I'm so happy. Okay, first of all, design thinking is a human-centered approach to innovation that draws from the designer's toolkit to integrate what people want or is desirable, what is technologically feasible, and what's a viable, good business or government that can be supported. All right. First of all, one of my favorite stories. There was a big bank once upon a time called Bank of America. And they wanted to do something, well, kind of big and important. So they went to a design thinking team. They went to the very famous company IDEO. Has anyone heard of IDEO? IDEO? Yes. Alrighty. So they went to IDEO and said, hey, please make us a particular product. And can you ask me, after the story, what it was they asked for? Okay. All right. Because I always forget. All right. So they got this design team. They want to do something for customers. They said, hey, we hear you've got a funky office. You look like Google. We want to come and see your lab. And they said, great, come on over. We won't be there. I said, where will you be? Well, to design something for your customers, we have to be in the homes and offices of your customers, seeing what do they do with their money. So they said, fine, good. So go to their homes, and let me ask you, all you guys here, when you go home, what's one of the first things you do?
ตามเรื่องทันไหมครับตามทันนะฮะของ Bank of America ตามทันนะครับ
After you kiss the dog, after you pet your wife, you take your coins and you put them somewhere, don't you? Right? And your keys and everything. And so they noticed that many people do this. Now, over the entire nation, how much money is sitting in jars and drawers? A lot, right? They noticed another thing. This was many, many years ago when people would write out something to pay a company. And it was on paper. And it used to be called a check, way before e-banking. So people would get a bill from the phone company, $28.39. And they write a check for $30. Why would you pay the telephone company more than they are asking for? Have you ever done this? Yes. Why do you do that? I'd never heard of this. And there's always somebody in the group who does this. Why do you do that? Oh, but if you're writing a check, if you're writing out the amount, you could write $29.84. But some of these customers would write $30. Why? It's easy to write. Why else? Yeah, you might want to keep track of your money easily and withdraw, full amounts, etc. Yeah. So they noticed, they asked why, and they realized all this change going to companies that don't need to go out across the entire nation. Is that a lot of money? Actually, it is. So they went back to Bank of America and said, we don't want to make what you asked us to make. We want to make a special bank account and call it the Keep the Change account. New customers will sign up for a special account. It will be attached to a savings account. They will register online to pay bills automatically. So automatically customers are happy. That change, when they get the phone bill, we will round it up automatically and put the change in savings. Now, does this sound like they're solving a real problem, or is this just a stupid marketing thing to get attention? Anybody? Who says this is just a stupid marketing idea? Who thinks there's real value in doing this? She was so brave, she raised her hand. He's almost as brave. He's smiling at me. Well, not now. 12 million customers later, they had helped people save $3.1 billion. That's a lot of change. And that's design thinking. Now, the company IDEO, which I think one of you heard of over here, do any of you use a mouse? They created the first commercially viable mouse. They then created the first ergonomic mouse for Microsoft after having made the first one for Apple. Oh, this might be familiar. If you've ever queued up for the post office or the government service. So we were kind of doing this in Singapore as well. I know this is not everybody's image of Singapore. But whenever people would go to get their employment pass at the Ministry of Manpower, ta-da! That's what we do. You know, we have to take our laptop because to pick up your pass is going to take 4, 5, 6 hours. So someone decided to do something about it. So they hired a design thinking team. They found out from people, what is your experience here? What are you trying to get done? They found out from employees, what are you trying to get done? What are the problems? What are the things that you need for this experience to really go well? That's what they did. Now, when you go in, you make an appointment. 900 people go through this office every day. 90% of them are served in 10 minutes. When you come in with 4 children, as I did, one of whom was extremely grumpy, and they always somebody is, they have toys for the children to keep them busy while you're putting the information in the computer. It's really, really well done. So there's two things. Number one, they don't need a new office because they have to house 900 people every day. They just run them through quickly. So it saves on real estate. It saves on paperwork. Everything's computerized. The employees are happy. Nobody's stressed. And it gives a great image of the nation to all of these foreign workers who go out and do international business. Come do business with Singapore. We can do things really well, is their message. Okay, school. How many of you send your child to private school? Does anyone do you all send your children to the government-run school?
โรงเรียนอินเตอร์ก็ได้โรงเรียนเอกชนก็ได้เหมือนกันนะครับถ้าสาธิตหรือโรงเรียนสปทโรงเรียนรัฐนี่หรือไม่มีใครมีลูกเลยครับผมว่าเป็นไปไม่ได้นะ I think the children already in the university so no school so they're not that young
Am I the only foolish person here who skipped parenthood and became a grandparent? Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, where do your children send the grandchildren to school? Are they all going to the government school, or are any of them privately educated? This was a big problem in Peru. And a corporate leader, the head of the Innova Corporation, realized Innova was so successful that the only way to grow any more was to grow the nation. And so they wanted to grow the middle class. What are the two things the middle class want? Education and healthcare. So they decided to tackle education. They started a school. The system called Innova Schools was done through design thinking. So the team, they worked with students, with parents, with teachers, with administrators, with community members. They put stuff online. They put it in buildings. All the buildings are modular. All the furniture is modular. There's group work. There's leadership by children for other children. There's support for the teachers from other teachers within the school, with other schools. There is no one silver bullet. But there are many, many good ideas put together. So, how did they do? In Singapore, if you want to send your child to private school, it's between $30,000 and $35,000 a year per child. I have 4. You can do the math. They're not going. Matter of fact, I called up Innova because I know this is not just design thinking to be cute. These guys get 3 times the national average math scores, twice the national average communication scores. They are the largest private network of schools in Peru. You probably can't see it. Here's the punchline for a parent. It's $130 a month.
ประเด็นที่เห็นมาหลายเคสนะฮะก็คือก่อนเราจะเริ่มทำอะไรเนี่ยคำถามก็คือเราต้องเอาคนที่เกี่ยวข้องมาให้ได้ยินเสียงเขามากที่สุดเข้าใจเขามากที่สุดนะครับเราจะเริ่มต้นทำอะไรมันไม่ใช่เริ่มจากตัวเองแต่ต้องเริ่มจากคนที่เราอยากจะให้บริการนะครับเราจะเห็นเคสตั้งแต่ Bank of America หรือไม่ก็โรงเรียนก็ตามนั่นคือหัวใจสำคัญนะครับก็อย่างที่บอกเอาใจเขามาใส่ใจเราที่มีคำศัพท์เรียกว่า entropy ตรงนั้นนะครับอันนี้เป็นหัวใจที่มีความสำคัญมากๆของเรื่อง design thinking แล้วก็ design thinking ไม่เป็นต้องเป็นของหรูหรือของแพงนะครับเมื่อกี้พื้นที่ก็ไม่ได้เพิ่มนะฮะแต่ว่าการทำงานดีขึ้นโรงเรียนก็ไม่ได้แพงขึ้นเพราะว่าก็จ่ายเงินเพิ่มแค่130เหรียญนะครับต่อเดือนนะครับถ้าเราส่งลูกเราเรียนโรงเรียนนานาชาติก็ตกปีละเกือบล้านใช่ไหมฮะถ้าไปบางกอกพัฒนาใช่ไหมครับถ้าไปโรงเรียนที่อาจจะต่ำมานิดนึงก็อาจจะ 6-7 แสนแต่ว่าแพงทั้งนั้นนะครับอย่างที่บอกประเด็นของเขาที่สำคัญอีกอันหนึ่งก็คือถ้าประเทศไทยจะหลุดกับดักที่เราเรียกกันหลายๆชื่อเนี่ย education กับ healthcare 2 เรื่องเป็นเรื่องใหญ่ นะครับแล้วก็ผมว่าเนี่ยคือสิ่งที่เราต้องติดตามเรื่อยๆว่าเราได้ทำอะไรกับมันบ้างนะครับและต้องอาศัยดีไซน์ thinking พอสมควรเพราะว่าไม่งั้นไปต่อไม่ได้ครับ
So it's all about finding out what everyone needs, getting all the good ideas together. Yes, using technology, but also using business models, also using organization models. Okay, I'm going to skip a few examples to keep you on time because I want to give you exercise time this afternoon. Unilever is another corporation that realizes over half of their businesses are in emerging economies. To grow their business, they also have to grow the world. And they're addressing sanitation with new business models and new sanitation technology. There's also IDEO.org, and if you want, you can join a charity or social enterprise project and get some experience in design thinking with IDEO.org. Oh, there we go. Now, speaking of technology, here's a medical example that really touches my heart, and I hope it will also touch yours. This TED Talk is by the founder of IDEO, David Kelly.
Doug Dietz is a technical person. He designs medical imaging equipment, large medical imaging equipment. He's worked for GE and he's had a fantastic career, but at one point he had a moment of crisis. He was in the hospital looking at one of his MRI machines in use when he saw a young family and his little girl. And that little girl was crying and was terrified. And Doug was really disappointed to learn that nearly 80% of the pediatric patients in this hospital had to be sedated in order to deal with this MRI machine. Right? And this was really disappointing to Doug because before this time he was proud of what he did. You know, he was saving lives with this machine. But it really hurt him to see the fear that this machine caused in kids. About that time, he was at the D School at Stanford taking classes. He was learning about our process, about design thinking, about empathy, about iterative prototyping. And he would take this new knowledge and do something quite extraordinary. He would redesign the entire experience of being scanned. And this is what he came up with. He turned it into an adventure for the kids. He painted the walls and he painted the machine and he got the operators retrained by people who know kids like, you know, children's museum people. And now so when the kid comes, it's an experience. And they talk to him about the noise and the movement of the ship. And when they come, they say, okay, you're going to go into the pirate ship, but be very still because we don't want the pirates to find you. Right? And the results were super dramatic. Right? So from something like 80% of the kids needing to be sedated to something like 10% of the kids needing to be sedated. And the hospital and GE were happy too because you didn't have to call the anesthesiologist all the time, they could put more kids through the machine in a day. So the quantitative results were great. But Doug's results that he cared about were much more qualitative. He was with one of the mothers waiting for her child to come out of the scan, and when the little girl came out of her scan, she ran up to her mother and said, "Mommy, can we come back tomorrow?" Right? And so I've heard Doug tell the story many times of his personal transformation and the breakthrough design that happened from it. But I've never really seen him tell the story of the little girl without a tear in his eye.
That's one of my favorites. So design thinking, it's all about art and experience and being fluffy and fun, right? No? Yes? No? What was the business result? What economic value did he create? He created fun, and it could be that for elective procedures, more people will choose that hospital, so maybe revenue goes up. Alrighty, I can see that. Decreasing the fear. So why is that useful?
Especially for children.
Yeah.
Because they feel everything.
Some of them
in
do.
the hospital. Not only
One
for
of
the
my kids
machine.
does, the other
Yes.
one fears nothing. But
Yes.
anyway, go ahead.
Not only machine, but also the doctors and nurses.
So there's stress. Okay, so you're reducing employee stress. Stress is related to employee turnover,
Yes.
also sick days.
Yes.
So there's an economic impact right there.
Yes.
What about reducing the stress in the patient? Is there an economic value in that, or a medical benefit? And what is it?
Benefit?
If you reduce stress in the patient,
Yes.
do you
So-
get better health results?
Yes.
So your results are better.
They will, get rehabbed from their sickness.
Exactly.
Yes.
They get better faster
Better
and
fast,
better.
yes.
Okay. So the kids are happier. Who else
Yes.
is happier?
The parents,
The parents are happy. Who else is happier?
relatives,
The relatives
and the
you
hospital.
said the staff.
Hospital business also.
Well, why would the business be happier?
Because the hospital also gain more patients.
Get more patients.
Because they have the good impression.
Good impression. So brand building.
Yes.
So you've said that revenue may go up. Let's give some people a chance to tell me about. Thank you. Excellent. What about cost? Did anything happen to the costs of the procedures? Are they more expensive now because we hired designers? Well, how would the cost be going down of an MRI? He gave us a few hints. The anesthesiologist. So we don't have to sedate the kids. So that cost goes down. What about, is anyone here in finance?
การเงินบ้างครับสถาบันการเงิน Nope.
Okay, so one popular relationship in finance is when cost goes down, risk goes up. But what about in this case? Cost goes down, but risk actually goes down because there's no risk of complication from the anesthesia, the sedation. So cost goes down, risk goes down. Maybe revenues go up. The hospital administrators are happy. Do they have to buy another MRI to get more kids through? Well, at the moment, no, because you run more kids through each day if there's no problems. Okay. Happy kids, happy parents, happy staff, happy finance. Who else pays for this? Maybe government is paying part of the cost of this health care, so the government's happy. Who else pays for health care? I heard it. Insurance company. So the insurance company is happy. So who's not happy? Competitors might not be happy. Who else is not happy? Whose business did we just hurt?
Anesthesiologist.
The anesthesiologist. Thank you very much. But that's okay. She plays golf more. It's fine. It's fine. No problem. So the qualitative results are good. The quantitative results are good. Did they make any change to the technology? Oh dear. And I would bring this up at a technology workshop, would I? He's going to fire me. I don't think my expenses will be paid. But that's part of the key message. The technology enables, the business model sustains, but what is the thing that you're going to do? What is your new service, your new product? Whatever it is, it's probably about people. And that's what you need to learn. Okay, there's also some quantitative results, people have studied design thinking. Strategy Ant has been studying innovation for 10 years. They used to be Booz and Company, now they're PwC. So, they looked at the 1,000 most innovative companies in the world, and they separated them into those that drive new growth, getting insights by surveys, market trends, versus those that directly engage their customers and learn from them. How did they do? The companies that directly engage customers have 3 times the growth in operating income as the others, twice the return on assets, 60% more shareholder value. So being in conversation with your customer is important. Here's another one. They separated them into 3 groups. Those that drive new growth by investing in new technology. Those that drive growth are tracking market trends, seeing what's next, being a second follower. And those that drive new growth by finding new needs. How did they do? The need seekers significantly financially outperform the others. Okay, so yes, it is a good idea to start here with desirability. Okay, how about this? Design Council in the UK, they studied design-led companies. Over a 10-year period, they outperformed their peers by 231%. Here's another one. The DMI Design-Centric Index. Here's the design-led firms. Here's the Standard & Poor Index. The design-led firms did 228% better. And here's how. So this is the methodology used by IDEO. This is how they created the modern computer mouse and how they did all the other things. Now, how many of you have been in an organization that says, oh, we need to get creative. Let's go brainstorm some ideas in the conference room. Has anyone been in an organization that did that? Yeah? I heard a yeah. You refuse to show me your hands. But I think some of you have. So, yeah, brainstorming is fantastic. But that's over here. If you jump in and solve the wrong problem, you just cut out half of your innovation. A lot of innovation happens here. Now, here's why it's even more important today. The scientific method. How many are scientists in here? Not one. Oh, God bless you. Thank you. I've got 2 scientists, and of course they're sitting up front. When you investigate something in science, you define the problem very, very exactly. But when you work in an organization, are your problems like that? No. Most of what we deal with are called wicked problems. I did not make that up. That's not mine. Wicked problems are the ones where you don't know the solution and you don't know the problem. And you have to figure them both out at the same time. And that's what this methodology is for. Okay.
เมื่อกี้ที่ดร.เขาบอกนะฮะก็ can you go back to the previous slide เนี่ยก็คือว่าส่วนใหญ่แล้วองค์กรก็คือจะเริ่มจากหาว่าเราจะมีแนวทางยังไงโดยที่เราคิดว่าเรารู้ปัญหาแต่สิ่งที่เขาเตือนเราเสมอก็คือว่าบางครั้งปัญหานี่ที่ว่า wicked problem เพราะเรายังไม่รู้ปัญหามันคืออะไรแล้วเราพยายามจะหาวิธีแก้ก็เหมือนกับกระทรวงศึกษานะครับเรื่องปัญหาการศึกษาถูกไหมฮะคือเรายังไม่รู้เลยปัญหาการศึกษาคืออะไรแต่ว่าทำ brainstorming อย่างเดียวทำแผนยุทธศาสตร์20 ปี15 ปี10 ปีอะไรก็ว่าไปถูกไหมครับด้วยนี้เนี่ยมันถึงไม่ได้แก้ปัญหาสักทีเพราะว่าเราไปเริ่มผิดที่ นะเหตุผลก็เพราะปัญหามันซับซ้อนมากสิ่งที่เขาเตือนอันที่2ก็คือถ้าเราเริ่มจากตรงนี้เราจะไม่มีนวัตกรรมเนี่ยนะครับหายไปครึ่งหนึ่งนะครับและอย่างที่เรียนไปแล้ว cover design thinking เนี่ยไม่ใช่ว่ามีอะไรแปลกใหม่แต่ว่ามันต้องเริ่มจากความต้องการของคนที่เกี่ยวข้องบวกกับบทบาทเทคโนโลยีจำเป็นจะต้องมีหรือไม่มีก็แล้วแต่สถานการณ์แล้วก็สุดท้ายก็คือนะครับมันก็ต้องส่งผลที่ดีเป็น business model ก็คือว่าส่งผลที่ดีในเชิงธุรกิจหรือในเชิงการทำงานของภาครัฐเช่นในเรื่องของงบประมาณด้วยนะครับอันนี้คือ3ประเด็นหลักๆที่ผมอยากจะสรุปให้กับทุกท่านฟังนะครับ
Alrighty, thank you. I couldn't have said it better. Okay.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Alrighty, so I'm going to skip over that. No, I'm not going to skip over these. I saw in the participant list that some of you are actually in HR. And I have a feeling that some of the rest of you have to deal with employee problems to make sure that your customers are well served, be it government customers or business customers. Here's just a few things, and I've got some stats for you. To win in the marketplace, you must first win in the workplace. That's the CEO of Campbell Soup. This is very important, Teresa Amabile, because I think one group is working on happiness. By the way, we have a Center of Excellence on Happiness, so feel free to tap on me and I'll get you connected with them for resources. She found one day's happiness often predicts the next day's creativity. So yet another way of encouraging innovation in your organization is to encourage the happiness of your people. All right. The more importance an organization places on design thinking, the faster it grows. This is from Deloitte's Global Human Capital Trends. Respondents where HR delivers the highest level of value are about 5 times more likely to be using design thinking. All right. 79% of executives said it's important or very important. Over half of job applicants who find their experience difficult, then they walk away unhappy customers, as well as people who don't take the job. All right. And here's some other examples we can go through later in the break if you wish. Okay, let's practice. You're too quiet. You have to practice now. Let me give you a problem. Oh boy, I love problems. Have you done the elevator problem? Yes. Anybody else? Okay, she's not allowed to say anything until the end. All right, welcome to your first day as the building manager in a beautiful skyscraper, a corporate office. You walk in, and on your desk is a big stack of complaints. Your elevator is slow. I hate your elevators. Why don't you get good elevators? Your elevators are too, what? Slow. Okay. So it's your first day, you want to do something good. What would you do to solve the problem? Come on, you're a creative bunch, you can do it. How would you solve the problem? Stack of complaints. What would you do?
เขาพูดอีกทีไหมครับ Could you repeat the same thing? I mean about the elevator problem again because
yes. So you've come into your office and you have a big stack of complaints. Your elevator's too slow. I hate your elevator. We need another elevator. The elevators are too slow. So how would you solve the problem?
โอเคนะฮะก็คือมีคนคอมเพลนว่าลิฟต์มันช้าไม่สะดวกอะไรต่างๆมีแต่คนร้องเรียนเรื่องเกี่ยวกับลิฟต์เนี่ยฮะเอเลเวเตอร์เนี่ยคำถามจะทำยังไงถ้าเราเป็น building manager ก็คือเป็นผู้จัดการตึกครับอาคารพาณิชย์แล้วมีคนร้องเรียนเรื่องลิฟต์
She says, put in a new elevator and select the best company. Oh, whoa, wait. How much money are you asking for on your first day at work? That's a lot of money. But it is one option. So put in a new elevator. Get a good company to revamp this one. Okay, so one elevator goes to level 10. One goes 11 to 29, 30, and the next. Okay, so split the floors they serve. Okay, that's another good one. How else?
We don't know more information. Sometimes in in the morning, the people use crowd, and also they use the lift at the same time. It might be the cause of the complaints, but sometimes during the day, the lift might be not used by the people. So I think firstly we have to think about the number of the people who use the lift.
So if everybody is using it at the same time to start work and to leave work, what would you do?
For me, I think if the lift is not enough for the people, we have to get her idea.
Get another lift.
Yeah. But firstly, we have to research and
this is going to cost a lot of money no matter what we do. We need another lift.
Yeah. If they use every day.
If that's the problem.
Yeah.
Wait. You said if that's the problem. What's the problem? The problem is that the elevator is slow. Well, how do you know? Because people complained. So
we just managed. First, we have to analyze what is the exactly problem of the lift. For example, the complaint come a lot. So we have to find out that the group of the complaint, how many complain about this thing, we separate the item. And then we try to solve the problem. It's just like a serious problem first. So if the problem because of the time of the using the lift, for example, that what she said about in the morning, maybe a lot of people use the lift. So we have to manage the lift that maybe we have to use the zone, the lift zone faster in the morning, arrange the time of the lift if we cannot invest more for the lift. So we start from everyone said that analyze the problem from the complaint first.
Okay. So,
and then we manage it.
So you're moving ahead really fast, and I think you're going to get promoted really fast. So the first thing we're doing is we're looking at these paper complaints. And so we'll understand the problem based on what they wrote, what they said.
Yes, correct.
Did you understand how to enter the contact into the phone based on what she said?
Again, please.
Remember the telephone exercise?
คือเมื่อกี้ที่บอกว่าต้อง exercise แรกเลยฮะที่บอกว่าต้องให้เพื่อนอธิบายว่าเราจะเข้าไปใน contact เรายังไงเราทำได้เลยไหมฮะหลังจากที่เพื่อนแค่บอกเราว่าให้ทำอย่างนี้
Are people?
She couldn't do it. Yeah.
Because the complaint coming, we have to check that the complaint have any contact number or any just like we check back that what exactly from that you meet from the lift problem. So we check from the customer problem first. because I don't know exactly what the first state that you said that complaint coming, and the complaint side the name or the contact number or not. If they have, we have to recheck back that for the customer that what exactly the problem that you meet.
Exactly. So what you're saying is that people aren't always that good at telling you exactly what's wrong. You got to find out, and maybe you need to go down with them when they're getting on the elevator and everything. Yeah. Now, when you get on an elevator and you say, "Oh, it's also slow," what do you usually mean? That when you get inside, it's slow? Or that could be a problem. That could be a problem. Well, what the company actually did was something very close to what you said. They decided to go down and watch people and talk to people as they're using the elevator. And what they found was that people were not upset inside the elevator. The elevator was slow to come. Oh, now this changes everything. Then what they did was they didn't spend $250,000 on a new elevator. They took $40 out to IKEA and they put mirrors right here and right here. Because the slowness people didn't like was the slowness coming. However, if you put the mirror up, everybody comes into the office and they do this. Oh, yeah, go, I'll get the next one. Exactly. So you've got to find out from people what really is the problem. Define your challenge. Very good. And find your clicker. There it is.
ครับตามทันไหมฮะทันหมดนะครับถ้าไม่ทันต้องยกมือนะครับเพราะว่ามันจะเป็นเกร็ดเล็กเกร็ดน้อยนะครับผมอยากให้ทุกคนพอไปได้โอเคครับถ้าทันก็โอเคครับ
As a matter of fact, I was teaching MBAs one time, and you know, if you go out and get an MBA, what's the one thing you want when you're finished? Does anybody know? Huh? You want a degree, so you get the degree, and now you need a job. This was a whole crowd of people who they want one thing for Christmas from Santa Claus. They want a job. So they were going to do a design thinking social enterprise project. And I said, okay, what challenge do you want to work on? We want to help poor people without education to get a job. So then they went out and they talked to poor people who had no jobs and were on the street. What do you suppose they told them? A job? What do I want a job for? And these kids were all ready to go out and make an NGO to get these people jobs. It's a good thing they took design thinking because they found out they had the wrong challenge. And then what they designed was a way for them to get work, which is different from a job. They could work part-time, they could work in a day, they could work from home. They wanted to be useful and get paid, but they didn't want jobs. So, very important to define your challenge. I'm going to skip over a couple tools here. Observing people. Okay, now, pharmaceutical company decided, do you remember child-proof bottles? Nobody uses them anymore, I think. Do you use child-proof bottles for your pills, your medicine? Yeah, those things that only children can open. Yeah? Okay. So most people have pill packs now. But you had to push it down and twist it. You can't do that if you have arthritis. It was not good. So the company wanted to make new medicine bottles. And they held focus groups. Does everyone know what a focus group is? Yeah, you're cool? Okay. So they held focus groups. And this old lady was in the group. So they'd give her a new design bottle. And then they said, use it, come back next week. So she came back. So how was it? Oh, it's fine. Anything else? No, it's fine. Okay, we have another design for you. Go home and use the bottle. Come back next week. She came back. How is it? Oh, it's fine. They did this 3 or 4 times. They got nowhere with anyone. So, of course, they called in a design team. So, did they have the people, designers, did they have the people come into the focus group? Where do you think they went? Like Bank of America. Bank of America, they went to people's homes, right? Okay, so now they said, okay, we're not doing focus groups. Nobody can explain to us what they really want, which was a very good point. We'll go to her house. Okay, good. They went to her house. Knock, knock, knock. Come in. Okay, so they give her a bottle. Oh, it's a lovely bottle. Lovely, lovely bottle. Thank you very much. And she left. They're like, oh my God, what kind of medicine is she taking? So they said, ma'am, where are you? Oh, I'm in the kitchen. Can we come too? Oh, yeah, come in. They watched her go to the wall and turn on the electricity. Are the pills blue now? She had no trouble opening the bottles because she opened them with her ham slicer. And she didn't think to tell anybody. So a very key thing that we do in design thinking is you do not just listen to people explain, like the phone problem. You go to where they live and work and see and feel and ask questions. Okay.
ประเด็นนี้ต้องการสรุปนะครับตามทันนะฮะคือฟังอย่างเดียวไม่ได้นะครับอย่างที่บอกเราเรียนรู้เหมือนในการเรียนหนังสือในห้องเรียนเรียนรู้จากการฟังอย่างเดียวเด็กจะได้แค่ 10% ของเนื้อหาเท่านั้นเองนะครับสรุปนะฮะโอเคนะครับก็คือสิ่งที่เราจะต้องเห็นเกี่ยวกับในเรื่องของ Design Thinking ก็คือว่าเราจะต้อง observe นะฮะและการสังเกตนี่มันจะต้องเข้าไปให้เห็นถึงชีวิตเขาไปจริงๆเป็นยังไงนะครับเราไม่ได้สังเกตจากแค่เรียกเขามาฟังเป็นมาเรียกมาคุยหรือนั่งในห้องอย่างเดียวอันนี้เราจะไม่สามารถจะออกแบบอะไรที่ตรงความต้องการเขาได้เลยเราถึงจะต้องรู้ว่าเขาแบ็กกราวด์เขาเป็นยังไงเขาใช้ชีวิตยังไงวิถีชีวิตเขาเป็นยังไงซึ่งส่วนใหญ่แล้วเนี่ยหน่วยราชการเนี่ยอย่างผมเองก็เป็นข้าราชการเนี่ยนะฮะเป็นอาจารย์มหาวิทยาลัยเราไม่ค่อยสนใจหรอกนะนักเรียนเป็นไงเราจะสอนอย่างเงี้ยนะครับและนี้ก็คือเป็นปัญหาพอสมควรว่าทำไมอาจารย์กับเด็กมันถึงไม่มีคอนเนคชันกันนะครับคือไม่สามารถที่จะสื่อสารซึ่งกันและกันได้อันนี้เป็นหัวใจสำคัญมากๆของดีไซน์ Thinking คือ Challenge คืออะไรเรายังไม่รู้แล้วเราก็ยังไม่สังเกตอีกแต่เราจะไปให้ Solution เขาเหมือนหมอยังไม่ทำอะไรเลยจ่ายยาแล้วอย่างเงี้ยเป็นไปไม่ได้นะครับ
So how would a marketer develop a product or service? They would go and they would map out the market, you know, and these are the people that you want in general, like mainstream. It's a big market. As a designer, you don't go there. You go and learn from the extremes. People who, at this end, they hate your product, they think you stink, they think you're stupid. They don't want anything to do with you. At this end, they love you so much they tattoo your brand on their bodies. Harley Davidson. So there was a company that made kitchen tools. All right? Now, they were going bankrupt. They cheapened the materials as much as they could. They outsourced IT to India. They outsourced production to China. There was no way to make it any cheaper. And they said, hey, design team, can you help? We're going to die. I said, fine. Now you're on the design team. Who has trouble using kitchen tools? Oh, that's not an answer. That's you. As a matter of fact, every time I give this talk, I hear husbands and men. But who else has trouble using kitchen tools? Think like a designer now. Kids, brilliant. That is absolutely right. Who else?
Old people.
Kids and
Old people.
old people. Thank you very much. So down here, they went to the homes of kids and old people and watched them. Now over there, who uses kitchen tools 14, 16 hours a day? Chef. Who else?
Sandwich shop.
Pardon? I always get somebody who says a wife or a mother. But the value of a wife and mother is that she does 20 jobs 16 hours a day, not just one. Drinks, anyone? Drinks? You guys don't go out to bars, do you? A bartender. Yeah. Also, they also went to soup kitchens. Now, here's one of the things that happened. They observed children and pizza. Kids love to make pizza. Sometimes they won't eat it, they just want to make it. And they observed a kid, you know the round thing to cut? The kid couldn't really do this because they have trouble transferring that much power from the shoulder through here. Okay, so what did the kid do? What do your kids do? This, right? And that's dangerous. So they realized by looking at a child that this is kind of hard. So they designed a new kind of pizza cutter, where the handle is already on the top and you can hover over it and press down with your body. They did that with the whole line of kitchen tools. And everyone came for their beautifully designed, easy to use products. It worked. Final example. Not only do we look at the lows and highs, yes, of course, you're going to do this later on your own example. We also look at analogies. Now, when you go, who's been to the emergency room? Am I the only dum-dum who gets into accidents? I also have a kid who, we used to go so often to the emergency room, we didn't have to register. They know who we are. Emergency room. What's important about that service? What is the measure of quality? I heard speed. Absolutely. It has to be fast. What else? Excuse me? They've got to give first aid. Can they give you the wrong first aid and they'll, fix it later? No, because you may die. It has to be fast and it has to be right. Now, who else outside of medicine has to be fast and has to be right? Anyone? There's a hint on the slide. Formula One racing crews. So the design team and the hospital staff went to Formula One, not just to have a great day, although they did. They were observing how do they take care of that car patient who rolls in, fix it fast, get him out. They realized that 80% of the time, every tool the mechanic needed was in a little basket. They run out, they use it, they can go back, but they needed the basket. And they said, why don't we do that in the hospital? Let's. And many, many practices from the pit crew they took to the hospital. They didn't stop there. They invited the pit crew to come to the hospital. If you designed this workflow, what would you do? How would you do it? And they invited the patients. And they saved a lot more lives. Okay.
Interrupting.
Yes.
ก็ตัวอย่าง2 อันนะฮะเมื่อกี้จะเห็นรูปก็คือว่าปกติแล้วถ้าเป็นจ้างพวกตลาดมาออกแบบเนี่ย ส่วนใหญ่แล้วพวกตลาดเขาจะดูตรงกลางใช่ไหมฮะคนซื้อมาให้สุดแต่ว่าถ้าเป็นดีไซน์ทิงเกอร์เนี่ยก็คือเราจะเอาเอ็กซ์ตรีมกรุ๊ปก็คือที่ไม่แฮปปี้กับเรานะครับมากๆเลยเนี่ยมาให้ความคิดเห็นในเรื่องการออกแบบนะครับก็เมื่อกี้ได้เห็นแล้วว่าเด็กหรือว่าผู้ใหญ่เนี่ยบางครั้งเวลาอุปกรณ์ทางห้องครัวเนี่ยจะทำลำบากหรือไม่ก็จะชอบไปเลยหรือใช้ตลอดเวลาไปเลยก็พวกของพ่อครัวหรือว่าอะไรนะฮะที่ทำกิจกรรมตรงนี้ส่วนเมื่อกี้ที่เห็นเนี่ยคือการออกแบบที่ดีเนี่ยเราไม่จำเป็นจะต้องอยู่ในอุตสาหกรรมหรือว่าในเซอร์วิสของงานเราควรที่จะมองออกไปข้างนอกด้วยนะครับเมื่อกี้เขาถึงยกตัวอย่างคำว่า analogy คือตัวอย่างการเปรียบเทียบเช่นในการรีดีไซน์ออกแบบในห้องฉุกเฉินนะฮะ emergency room เนี่ยเขาบอกว่าจริงๆแล้วนะฮะอุตสาหกรรมที่ต้องทำคล้ายๆกันก็คือรถยนต์รถแข่งเพราะว่ารถแข่งมันจะต้องมีการเปลี่ยนล้อตลอดมีการชนต้องไปซ่อมต้องมีการตรวจเช็คจะทำให้มันเร็วที่สุดถูกต้องมากที่สุดถูกไหมครับไม่ได้เกี่ยวอะไรกันเลยนะครับ emergency room กับรถแข่งแต่ว่าเราสามารถที่จะศึกษาได้แล้วก็ดึงเอาสิ่งที่เขาทำและดีเนี่ยมาเข้าสู่ในงานของเราได้ด้วยนี้เราต้องมองซ้ายมองขวาไม่ใช่ว่ามองนายกับมองลูกน้องนะครับต้องมองซ้ายมองขวาด้วยนะครับมองข้างๆเรา
Okay. Enough of listening. You tell me, what do you observe? What do you see? You can look at the back. You can look at the front. Don't look at me. Look at each other. What do you see? What? You see you see something untidy. Okay, okay. Huh? You see clothes. Oh, thank you. Thank you. You have just brought up a very, very important point. You see clothes that someone will donate, right? How do you know they didn't just bring them home? Uh-oh. When you go out as design thinkers, you have to separate what you see from your interpretation. And you've got to be ready with the questions. Oh, sir, are you taking them out or did you just bring them in? As a matter of fact, I was at a YPO conference and somebody said, oh, obviously it's being donated by a woman. How do you know? Oh, there's pink. There's pink inside. And so I walked over to the president of the YPO, who was a very nice man, in a pink shirt with a pink tie and said, oh, are you sure? So again, be careful of your interpretations. So what we want are the observations, the what, the facts. Now, insights are the why. These are the motivations, thoughts, and feelings. You want to get here, but you can only get here if you start with that and ask questions. Okay, framing opportunities. Oh, this is a favorite. Who likes Elmo? Sesame Street? Anybody? Well, Sesame Street went to IDEO and they said, everyone has an app. We want an app. And IDEO said, well, maybe an app is good, but maybe there are other things better. No. We want an app. Okay. So what do you think IDEO did first? Are they going to stay in their lab? Where would they go? Where would you go as a designer? You're going to make an app. Sesame Street is for kids, if you couldn't tell by Elmo. Huh?
Ask the kids.
Ask the kids. But asking is great for helping you get the insights. What do you do before then? And where? You go to their homes. Exactly. So they went to the kids' homes and they watched them and they asked questions. Now, who of you, okay, none of you have little kids. Who has grandkids?
อ่านมั้งครับ
Okay, who remembers having children? Okay, thank you. So what's the hard part about the day with a little kid? Or the evening, or all night? What? Picking up toys. That's a hard part. What else is hard?
Attention span.
Huh? Eating. Sit down, eat your food. Yep. What else is hard?
Attention span.
Attention span, getting them to focus on anything. What else? They want to hear a story, and they want to hear a lot of them. And they want to hear one of them 50 times. What about, hey, Junior, time to go to bed. Oh, time to take a bath and go to bed. Here's how you take a bath. Time to brush your teeth. Okay, time to go to the doctor. All sorts of pain points they had that they found in a little kid's day. So they made an app that helps with the pain points in the day. Here's what they made. Everybody look at Sharef now.
Hi, Elmo! It's for you!
Elmo's calling your phone. With the Elmo Calls apps, kids press theme buttons from the home screen to sing, play, and video chat with Elmo.
Hello, it's Elmo! Elmo's at Teddy's house. Yeah, Elmo's for Teddy.
There are endless smiles and laughter when Elmo calls to tell jokes, talk about animals, play hide and seek, and lots more.
Elmo's home. Okay, thank you.
Elmo Calls also has voicemails and a FaceTime window. Parents, there's a special section of the app just for you. Activate calls for more silly Elmo fun, or have Elmo call to help with challenging situations, such as going to the doctor and learning to potty. Parents can also mark their favorite calls, buy new call packs, and schedule times for Elmo to call and remind kids about bedtime, bath time, and more. Laugh, play, and sing with Elmo Calls.
Brilliant. I tried it out. It actually works. When I say, darling, it's time to take a bath, brush your teeth, and go to bed, big problem. When Elmo says, oh, she'll run right off and do it. Oh, gosh, it made her life better, made my life better. Why? Did they use the coolest new technologies? Was it the coolest, most innovative design artwork? Why? Oh, was it successful? Yeah. In the first month, Elmo made 4 million calls. Within a year, he'd made 20 million calls. It's the #1 app on the App Store for age 0 to 5. Why? Anybody? Why? Why is this really good tech? What makes it good technology? It's funny. It's fun to use. How about this? It solves real problems. It satisfies real needs. It makes your life better. That's what you need to design.
ประเด็นก็คือต้องพยายามแก้ปัญหาจริงๆนะฮะเมื่อกี้เขาถึงไปสังเกตที่ในบ้านไงฮะว่าปัญหาที่พ่อแม่กับลูกเนี่ยที่เกี่ยวข้องมีอะไรบ้างไม่ว่าจะแปรงฟันเข้านอนนะฮะเปลี่ยนเสื้ออาบน้ำในพวกนี้ใช่ไหมเขาก็พยายามที่จะมันไม่ใช่เป็นของที่ต้องเป็นแฟนซีหรือว่าเป็นของหรูเลิศอะไรไม่ใช่นะฮะต้องเป็นของที่มันแก้ปัญหาจริงๆได้เราจะทำอะไรก็ตามนะครับ
I have to apologize. We usually have a lot more candy on the table when we give this talk. We're almost there. Finally, it's time to brainstorm some ideas. Oh, how about you brainstorm some ideas? Ding. Please give me your 3 most creative ideas for what to do with a paperclip. You have 1 minute. Go. What to do with a paperclip, your 3 most creative ideas.
ทำอะไรกับ paper clip ครับนะครับ brainstorm กันในโต๊ะของเรานะครับ
By yourself. Sorry.
not is individuals right
Individuals,
okay.
sorry.
อันนี้ทำคนเดียวนะครับทำคนเดียวจะทำอะไรกับ paper clip ดีครับ
Yep. Please write your 3 most creative ideas.
ช่วยเขียนด้วยนะครับว่าจะทำอะไรกับ paper clip ที่เราคิดว่ามันกระฉูดที่สุดนะครับไอเดีย
We're almost there. We're almost done. I like that one.
Hmm? Oh, she'd be a big hit.
เขาทำจับเวลาอยู่นะครับ คิดเลยครับไอเดียกระฉูดใส่มาเลยครับ
10 more seconds. You can do it. You can do it. Ding! Oh boy, I can't wait to hear your ideas. This is good. Oh, no. My mother used to give me these little wrinkly things. She's like, oh, no. Don't worry, I won't pick on you. I'll pick on one of you guys. Who wants to share 3, just 1 creative idea? Anybody? Yes.
When my zip is broken.
Oh, your zipper?
Yes.
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, you can make a zipper chain and you hook it on down here and then for the if you can't reach.
Yes.
Okay, you guys didn't need to hear that, but anyway. A zipper pull. Very good. Anybody? Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. You wouldn't know, but I was pointing over you, and then I'm going to bounce over here, kind of like ping pong. Toothpick. This is good for those of us who still have teeth. I won't have them for long, I'm not sure. Toothpick.
I actually have 3. One is a photo holder, one is a keychain, one is a earphone or keeper.
Yes. Okay, very good. I like those. Anybody else? Your 3 most creative ideas. Yes.
Make a gift like a heart.
Oh, how lovely. Very nice. I like that. Oh, say, how many ideas did you come up with? She's thinking, oh God, she's not pointing at me. No ideas, that's fine. That's fine. You can think of them later. 1, 3. How many ideas? Over here? She refuses to look at me. She's like, oh, I'm really busy on my phone. No. Let's skip over. How many ideas? He says, oh, I'm going to charm the pants off you by giving you a good smile, and he'll answer later. Huh? You had how many ideas? Oh, okay. How many ideas did you have? 6. Excellent. How many? 1. 4. ahead is 2, 2, 2. Going at 2. 4, 2. 1, 2, 2. 4, 2. Excellent. You know what? Usually when I give this talk, this example, I go around the room and it's 3, 3, 1, 0, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 3, 3, 2, 1. But then the question is, how do you know it was your most creative idea? If you didn't write down all your ideas and pick the best one. That's actually a very well used creative technique, and you're going to be using it after the break. So I was very happy to hear 6s and 4s around the room. You're a very creative bunch. All right. So, Farewell to Arms. Have you ever heard of Ernest Hemingway? Famous author, famous for good book titles. But how many titles did he write for every book? How many would you write if you wrote a book? That's a good try. He wrote 100 titles for every book he wrote and picked the best one. Linus Pauling, 2 times Nobel Prize winner in science. Someone said, "How do you have so many great ideas?" He said, "Easy. I just have a lot of them. And I pick the best ones." So what that is called is to diverge. Okay? So when you're diverging, and you will have practice after break, you come up with a lot of everything. Do not judge. Judgment enters here when you converge on something to do. Okay, again, this is just an appetizer. There are rules to brainstorming. It is actually a led process.
I'm going to ask.
Here's one of the last examples I will give you. One of the key things is to let the wild and crazy ideas out, because those are your best ideas, even if you think they're dumb. Who has heard of Arozaranen? Who ever sat on a chair like this? Yeah. It's a marvelous old chair called the tulip chair. This particular one is in the Smithsonian Museum. It was designed in the 1950s. The man became very famous, and he was also an architect. Now, a city somewhere in the world decided to make a building, the most revolutionary building anywhere. They wanted people to fly around the world just to see the building. So they held a tournament, and they invited famous architects like Arozaranen to come and judge the tournament. Now, he was late, flight problems, whatever. So they said, "Oh, welcome, welcome. We're happy you're here. We did the first round of judging, but come see what we chose. Here's the blueprints." And he looked at him, and he said, "Wow, okay. That's nice. Ooh. That's nice. Oh. That's nice." And the next one, what was it? Nice. And he looked down. There was a trash bin. He saw a crumpled paper, brought it up, stretched it out. This is the one to do. Why is it in the bin? This is the one. He said, "Well, it is too far out there. We don't know that we can do it." "Well, can't you at least try? You're trying to come up with something revolutionary and fantastic. This is it. Just start, and if you have to stop, then you can stop." They actually made it all the way through. That's the building.
Wow. question.
Yes.
How do you deal with time? Because you have to spend a lot of time.
The whole process, the process has some general guidelines as to how much time each of the phases will take. You have to deal with time as a constraint. So, and one of the things that I find in design and creativity projects, the closer you get to the deadline, the more crazy the ideas get and the better they get. So the time actually spurs creativity. People are not creative just because they like it. They're creative in response to a constraint. So you can give them time constraints, money constraints, manpower constraints, or any other kind of constraint. They will be creative to that constraint. Okay, trying experiments. So the last part of it actually is the thing that takes most time. You prototype and you experiment with either the extremes or the people who will actually use the product. Okay, I'm not going to show you this because I want to get you to break. So prototype, no, I will show you this. This is too good to be true. It's just like 1 minute.
Cue music. So this is
a software prototype for an app.
So music starts, and I'm the player, so I come in and I touch the monster, and he gives me a special dance move. I go and touch again, and he does a different one. And it can go for as long as I want. It has a few signature moves. And when I've had enough and I'm done dancing, I push the back button, and it pauses and the music stops. Monster make.
Cool.
That's all I can. Come on, Sonic.
Wow.
Okay, no, you do not need $40,000 to make an app prototype. Get a piece of cardboard and stick a guy behind it answering questions or doing the dance. All right, so there's some marvelous stories that I can tell you another time if you wish. Let's show them this one. This is important. This is a design thinking project using a different methodology, but this quickly pulls it all together and tells you some results. Take it away.
Daylight was given the challenge of getting kids in America to move more, to help fight childhood obesity. The project started with an idea. Provide kids with a digital music player that has a motion sensor, then give them rewards based on their activity. But the big question was, would kids really use it? What could make the experience so compelling that they would use it long enough to see the health benefits? Learn from people. We began by talking with kids. We spent time in their homes and schools across the country. We listened to them share their motivations, habits, delights, and frustrations. The research included kids in the mainstream, but also incredibly active kids, and the very sedentary. It turns out that those at the extremes are really good at giving a voice to problems that those in the middle might feel, but have a harder time putting their finger on. Find patterns. We captured our observations on hundreds of Post-it notes and laid them all out to make sense of what we learned. Using informed intuition, we looked for patterns that pointed to opportunities. Daniel said, "I get bored with solo video games. It's the multiplayer ones that keep me coming back." Meg said, "I don't wear my iPod when I'm running because I want to talk to people." Define design principles. These quotes, along with others, revealed one of the design principles that would help us get to a successful concept. Facilitate social interaction at all times. Many such design principles emerged. Together, they formed the guideposts of an experience that we felt confident would resonate with kids. Make tangible. We asked ourselves, how might we questions, to bridge the gap from design principles to specific ideas, and then quickly turn the best of them into rough prototypes. Iterate relentlessly. building physical devices out of simple cardboard, and mocking up digital experiences with paper and pencil allowed us to learn quickly. With each prototype, we tweaked and evolved the concept. We brought digital and physical models to kids to listen and learn. The concept evolved until we got to a compelling solution. What we ended up with was not the original idea of a digital music player. It was instead a small activity monitor that kids could clip onto their clothes or slip into a pocket. It was a portal to an online world that allowed kids to share and celebrate their real-world accomplishments with each other and their families. In a 6-month clinical trial, the impact was a 59% increase in physical activity. Learn from people. Find patterns. Define design principles. Make tangible. Iterate relentlessly. Whatever the challenge, design thinking is a powerful tool to reveal new ways of thinking and doing. What in your world could benefit from design thinking?
So did they make what they thought they were going to make? What did they start off thinking to make? Did anyone catch it? They were going to make an MP3 player. But then they found from one of the kids, would she use an MP3 when she goes running? No. A lot of them would not use it. So they found out what they would use, what they do want, what they do need, and made that. And it worked. If you design for what people want to use, they'll use it. But you have to find out first. All right. So, at the top is daylight methodology. In the middle is IDEA, what we teach. At the bottom is Stanford D School. Remember, this is to help you with wicked problems where you don't know the solution and you don't know the problem. Okay, so basically, don't design something out of your head and have your software people program it or your engineers do it, then hand it to marketing to put lipstick on a pig and sell it. Design a better pig. Design something that's not a pig. All right, so again, this is an appetizer, and as with any new effort, you may start off like a baby walking and find you fall down, and you fall down again, and you fall down again. But keep going. All right. Design thinking projects usually take 3 to 6 months. The first phase, learning from people, is generally 2 months. The middle, defining the future state and brainstorming solutions, is a month. And the end might be 3 months, prototyping and experimenting. If you'd like to know more, Harvard Business Review has an entire issue on design thinking from September a couple years ago. There's ideo.com and .org. Go check them out. They have case histories. Alrighty, and here's some of the stuff that we do. Whenever I teach it with a simulation game made by IDEO and Experience Point. It is a lot of fun. Then there's stuff you do in the workshop. You go out of the workshop learning from people. You come back in and go through more steps. Then you prototype and experiment, and you share your learnings. Alrighty. One of the companies we worked with asked for design thinking, empathy, and creativity. So we do a lot of that kind of stuff too. When we run the simulation game, and you can have anyone from Experience Point do it, they need at least 12 people and up to 200 to do the game. We also, as a school, we use it internally, and we've trained our own staff, and we've made changes internally. Okay, and that is it. Thank you all very much. Questions?
มีคำถามอะไรไหมครับ มีไหมครับ
Yes. Oh, yeah. The simulation is, well, what they did was they took an actual 4-month IDEO project and they smushed it into 4 hours. So it's really intense. And in that game, you define your own challenge, and the teams, you work as a team, and you're competing for a small prize. Actually, we usually give flamingos. But as a team, you get to really practice defining a challenge, doing ethnography, brainstorming, prototyping, storyboarding, all of that.
It's basically a different approach to systems requirements and stuff like that.
And this afternoon, you're going to get some experience starting the first 2 steps. Thank you. So while we were asleep, something, Sharef found a video. Take it away, Sharef. Thank you very much. So things are changing. Things are going digital. You go down to buy rambutan in Singapore market, and you pay the seller who has put up a QR code. It's awesome. But remember, technology enables, business models sustain, but there's that stuff that you gotta create that serves needs. Can I have 4 volunteers, please? Okay, you're not going to volunteer until I tell you what's going on, are you? No, we're not. Okay, we've got an exercise to do, and it actually comes from improvisational theater. And believe it or not, techniques of improv theater have a great deal of usefulness in healthcare, business, anything you're going to create. So I just want 4 people who can help me create a story. Who likes stories? Thank you. Come on up. Come on up. Give her a hand, please. Where do we have the most room? I think maybe this is where our circle should be, right here. Okay. So number 1. Now I need number 2.
มีใคร volunteer ครับ
Yes. Come on up. Okay, now, it isn't just women who are endowed with bravery. Guys are brave too. Aren't they? Come on up, come on up. Okay, who's number 4? You can do it. Yes, you can do it. No? No? Tell you what, let's just do it with the 4 of us. We don't have to have 5 people. Okay, so you have to see somebody's backside because we're going to be in a circle. Okay, you can look at my backside. Sorry. All right. Now, the exercise is the technique is called story wording. And what we do is each person says 1 word to continue a sentence and create a story. Okay, and what this requires, well, I'm going to ask you why it's important after we do it. Okay, so here we go. The
house
is
excellent.
But
I
am
You.
Okay, the house is excellent, but I am
Worry. Huh?
I am
Happy.
Okay, the house is excellent, but I am a happy prisoner. Oh, you can put a period someplace and start a new sentence. It's okay. So, the house is excellent, but I am a happy prisoner.
Say the word or the sentence.
You can continue the sentence, or you can assume that was a period and start a new sentence. So the house is excellent, but I am a happy prisoner.
Then
The house is excellent,
The house is excellent,
but I am
happy prisoner.
happy prisoner.
Then
Then once
go to some place.
one word.
Oh, sorry.
Then
once day.
Then once they sign a signature.
A contract.
Once they sign a contract. She cheated. Then once they sign a contract
to
release
our
don't cheating.
our neighbor.
Again. I'm not.
The house is excellent, but I am a happy prisoner. Then once they sign a contract to enable?
Yeah.
So once they sign a contract to enable
house
to
friends. Neighbors, right?
Yes.
Neighbors.
Wait a minute. We need a period. Okay. The house is excellent, but I am a happy prisoner. Period. Once we sign a contract to enable
to
enable me or them or somebody to enable
me
to
others.
To enable me to. So I'm buying a house. What do I need to do? But I'm in jail. What do I need to do before I can take my house if I'm in jail? So enable me to
Release. Okay.
From
I told you that already.
Okay, to lease
from something.
Lease from something. So you're going to lease the house or release? Release. Oh. Sorry, we're translating Thai and English here. Just talk amongst yourselves, you know. Okay. So once we sign a contract to enable me to release from jail,
People.
interest
In
the
Profit.
and
profit and interest
can
Generate.
good
income. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So that's not as easy as you would think when the people are doing it on improv theater. Why is it hard? And what is important that you can transfer somewhere else? So why was that hard? Anybody? Well, how about the people who were doing it? Why was that hard?
ทำไมถึงดูยากเงี้ยครับ
What? Because you can only say one word, and then the next person says one that you hadn't intended because you have an idea where you want the story to go. And damn it, they're not going there. So it's kind of like working in an organization. You have an idea of where you want things to go. And damn it, other people are going everywhere else. So then, how do we learn to come together and go the same place? So sometimes they need to go where I want to go. However, sometimes I, what? Have to go where they go. And as a matter of fact, every person in the organization has a little piece of where we're going. So the important thing about this exercise is learning how to listen so you can build on what they're doing, how to build on, but if they're going somewhere else, how to let go and go where they're going, because sometimes you need to do that. Thank you very much, everybody, and we're going to stop the screensaver because you don't need to look at my shark photographs and my odd little creatures here. All right, so what we're going to do right now Yay! We're going to define some challenges that you guys want to work on. And you may actually be at a table with your colleagues and you'll work on it together, or maybe not. And this is what you would call then free consulting, because your friends at your table will help you define a challenge that you will work on for your organization. Okay? So here's what we're going to do. We're going to turn on the tech, first of all. Okay. So remember the first step in the methodology. Yeah? And the first thing to do was, don't all shout at once, define the challenge. All right? So this is the key thing that will decide your future sometimes for the next 3 to 6 months, defining what it is that's important to work on and to innovate with your design thinking project. All right. Now, over here, this orange thing is the diverge symbol. What's going to happen is when you are diverging, the team will go up to your own whiteboard. You'll elect a leader. That leader will be in charge of making sure your ideas, one by one, get written on a Post-it. So one idea, one challenge, one problem, one opportunity to work on goes on one Post-it. So you're going to tell your leader the challenge you want to work on. You're going to draw a little picture really quick. Don't write a book. Just draw something that reminds you. Tell your leader puts it up. Now, when you mention a problem that you want to work on, your teammate is going to think of 2 or 3 more. And they're going to get those up. And then the next person is going to listen to everybody, and you're going to keep generating a whole lot of challenges that you may want to work on. Problems to solve, opportunities to take. Okay. Now, will you use judgment, or will you just put up any old crazy thing? And the crazier the better? This lady's right. Yes. The crazier the better. No judgment. get all the ideas up on the board. Now, what's going to happen as the next step is then we introduce judgment, and then you have a conversation about what you would really want to work on and really define it. But for now, all the crazy ideas go up on the board. Does this make sense to anyone but me?
ตามทันไหมครับถ้าตามไม่ทันต้องยกมือนะครับเพราะว่าเวลา So he would like you to briefly explain the game.
Yes.
Define the challenge.
Okay. So each table will get up and walk over to a whiteboard. Okay. You will elect a leader. This leader will be in charge of taking one idea, one by one, from everybody, from a Post-it. So you'll write down one idea per Post-it, get it up on the board.
Any idea, right? It's simple.
Any challenge that you want to work on. It could be a problem you need to solve at work. It could be an opportunity you want to take.
Can be at home as well. Challenge at home.
Well, if you want to work on home stuff, that's fine.
Okay.
I don't think your children actually paid for you to come here, but it's up to you. Okay? So remember, what we're doing now is we're going through the process of identifying what your project team should work on. The next step after this is going to be to identify the lows, the highs, and the analogies, where you would go to get ideas and to learn what people's needs are so that you could design a solution for those needs. For example, if you're working for a government hospital, then you might put up the challenges of people have trouble with our payment process. We're not able to serve people quickly enough. How might we want to improve accuracy. We're losing our doctors. We want to keep doctors. So you put we want to use artificial intelligence because our doctors are not always available for everybody. So you're going to put together any kind of challenge that you might want to work on.
โอเคไหมครับโอเคไหมฮะ challenge นะฮะที่ทำงานนะครับ at work เป็นหลักนะครับขอที่ทำงานเป็นหลักนะครับ
Ultimately, you will choose just one idea and take it forward to the next step. Now, the next step, if you look at your methodology, is to observe people. Okay? So you remember you would want to observe the lows, the customers who hate you, the highs, the ones who use you 16 hours a day, and the analogies. If you're a hospital emergency room, you go to Formula One. Does that make sense?
โอเคนะครับก็1กลุ่มแล้วก็ไปที่บอร์ดแล้วก็เลือกผู้นำมานะครับแล้วก็เขียน challenge ก็คือสิ่งที่เราเผชิญอยู่ในที่ทำงานตลอดเนี่ยครับว่าเราอยากจะทำอะไรจะแก้ปัญหาอะไรหรือมีโอกาสยังไงที่ทำให้เราทำงานดีขึ้นนะครับแล้วก็1ไอเดียไม่ต้องเขียนยาวๆเขียนกระชับนะครับประโยคเดียวหรือวาดรูปก็ได้แล้วปะลงไปนะครับ
Now at each table you're in several different organizations, right? Okay. So what you may want to do is to say, okay, let's put up all the problems that all of us face. And then when we decide to work on one, we're just going to choose one problem from one of you to take to the next step. Is that okay?
Okay. So how long would it take?
So why not start coming to your boards, take your Sharpie pens, open up your Post-its and come on up to your board, each one of you, okay? Each team by team, one whiteboard, one team.
1 โต๊ะนะครับ1 โต๊ะต่อ1ไว้บอร์ดนะครับ
I'll give you the timing in just a moment. And the responsibility for the leader is to make sure everyone is listening to everyone, and you announce the problem and put it up, and when people are listening, they will build on that idea. They'll say, oh yeah, I have that problem too, or I have a related problem. All right, I'll check on the timing. Come up to your boards. This is actually the hardest step. Standing up and moving to the board.
Good work on that, like small problem at home. That's the reason why I want to bring it up, so that it's clear. Like it should
The leader makes sure that
not the home challenge.
The leader makes sure that everyone's listening to everybody in your team and gets all the ideas up. And if anyone kills an idea, the leader can smack them. Okay.
You.
Leader ต้องอธิบายให้ทุกคนในกลุ่มได้ยินเท่านั้นเองครับ
Just tell them that just whack any ideas.
ไอเดียอะไรก็ได้นะครับ challenge อะไรก็ได้อาจจะดูเวอร์เขียนได้เลยนะครับคือเขียนเสร็จนะหน้าที่ของ leader ก็คือแค่อธิบายทุกคนในกลุ่มได้ยินนะครับแล้วก็เอาไปปะนะครับแล้วหลังจากนั้นก็เริ่มต้นใหม่ไปเรื่อยๆนะครับยังไม่ต้องมี judgment ตรงนี้นะครับ
Okay. So guys, we're going to take 10 minutes to diverge. Now normally when we diverge in my groups, you should come up with 35 problems, opportunities, and challenges. 35. So up to the board, start drawing, start shouting them out, get them up. The crazier the better.
ให้เวลา10 นาทีนะครับเฉลี่ยแล้ว10 นาทีน่าจะได้สัก35 ไอเดียนะครับ
TMI. Gary was doing this thing, right? One more.
Guys, altitude. I'm sorry, altitude is important.
I mean, film.
To the board. Come on. I don't know why nobody wants to go to a one. Okay. Internal communication. Go. Next. Out. Up. Beautiful. Okay, 35. Guys. Altitude helps you think. Okay, 35. 35. Okay. Not fair. So not fair.
CJ is trying to.
Okay, great. Keep going. I want 35. Come on. Altitude is helps you think. In 10 minutes, but no judgment. Just get every crazy idea in your head on paper. Every positive challenge, every problem, every opportunity, anything you might work on. Okay. No, you're right over there. There, you have to stand. Go. 35. Get 35. You guys are doing great. Except, you gotta stand. Come on. Just don't judge, don't cluster. Shove them up. More. Think better off your feet. You want 35. Don't sort them. Don't cluster. Don't do anything. Just up. Sitting down. This is not fair. You had to stand. Go. That's beautiful. Gorgeous. Keep going. You can get 50. 50.
You also should have created a problem.
Honestly, those people are doing their post-it notes at the end. All in good lines.
You too. Sitting down. Oh, so And we have only one, and we have a special method for doing it called dot versation. Dot versation. I'll explain it. Good. That's exactly what they should be doing. Ding, 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 ding. Okay. How many did you come up with as a group? Count them up, shout them out. While you're counting, I will share with you that if you have a 10-minute brainstorm, generally you should have 35 ideas. A 15-minute brainstorm is about 50 ideas. It's not until about 100 to 120 ideas that the quality starts to go down. So you should plan your brainstorms generally for about a half an hour and look for 100 to 120 of whatever you're doing. Okay, how many did you make? 22, fabulous. How many? 28. How many? 35, they did it, man. How many? 25. 32. 28. 20. Whoa, 52. 25. All right. Give yourselves a round of applause. You did great. All right, the next thing we are doing, now that you have all this stuff on the board, it's time to converge on a challenge. Now, every table should have some dots. Sharef? Dot paper? Dot paper. Where's the dots? Oh, thank you. Beautiful. Okay, so every table has some dot paper. Since we are severely constrained in terms of time, here's what we're going to do. This is what's called a dot versation. You are not going to vote. Each of you will put one dot. Usually we do 3, but just do 1 now. Put a dot on the challenge that you really want to work on. The thing you feel the most energy around. Maybe something important, something doable, something inspired. Okay? So here's what we're going to do.
I thought everybody was young.
So if she has put a dot on this one, then I, the leader, I will ask her when we're all finished, oh, who dotted this? She'll say, oh, I did. Well, why did you dot this? What does it mean to you? Now, if y'all cheat, y'all just count up the dots and say, oh, we work on that. And then what happens is you all go back to your office. You all think it is a different thing. You all go in different directions, and nothing happens. The quality of this conversation, why did you dot this? What does it mean to you? That determines your cohesion as a group. Okay, so 1 dot each person. Put it on. Leader, you know what to do, and you've got 10 minutes. Go! 1 dot per person. So you kind of pick your favorite. Huh? Just 1 dot. Only 1 dot, I'm sorry. I usually do 3, but because we've got to get you out of here. No time. Just 1. Choose 1 problem you really feel passionate about. Each person will dot 1 problem. And then the leader conduct the conversation. So 1 dot for 1 person. You choose the 1 challenge you're really passionate about.
คือคนหนึ่งเลือกได้แค่1 ดอทนะครับหนึ่งจุดเท่านั้นเองแล้วหลังจากนั้นก็ใส่เข้าไปใน challenge ไอเดียที่อยากจะทำมากที่สุดหรือสนใจมากที่สุดหรืออะไรก็ตามเนี่ยแล้วเดี๋ยวทีมลีดเดอร์จะมานั่งถามว่าทำไมถึงเลือกเอาวันนี้นะครับ
So basically, every person has one dot is selecting. Selecting the challenge.
The other people have to see the process and put their dots against your what you put your dots against.
So you put one, or I mean everybody, 4 of them are going and putting one dot? Somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere.
So everybody can put like 4 different dots. And then you eliminate.
So smart, say that.
As if we just one conversation now, exactly.
You told me that.
And it could be that
all along you created problems for me. This is not new.
And their explanation is so compelling, and everybody says, "Yeah, this is the one."
I think I could. No, I mean, I wasn't saying you bad.
Yeah. Yes. Really great. Wow. They know what they want to work on.
And you recommended Jane, right?
Engaged. Oh, sorry. Whoops.
Who? Oh, yeah.
Afro and Isabel and who were the others? There was a gang of French and Italians who matched him up.
But he's having a good time now.
So you all had a conversation.
But you know they are going to reduce the perks at Singapore.
Oh, some director or something.
What is the name of the salary that we get? Oh, yeah. All this, is that what it's called?
What else?
Anyway, she's not a straight person. She's not a straight person. Oh, yeah?
There's another exercise.
Really? How did you know?
Let the objects.
Okay, beautiful. Now, if you have not settled on one, you have one more minute.
I tried to hire Randeep from GICT. I had lunch with him and we walked and all of that.
In the course of conversation, if this person made a really compelling case why this is more important, you don't have to do that. You do this. The dots help with the conversation. It's not just voting. Yeah, you exactly. Yes.
Look, I'm not asking you to stay. Why are you complaining to me?
I'm talking about
Ding, 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 ding. Thank you, everybody. We are out of time for choosing. If you have not agreed on one, then just grab one. I guess the leader will have to grab one. However, I hope you've found a few important things. Number one, you can move your dots. You can change your mind. Number two, it's not voting. If someone makes a compelling case for the one thing up there, yet there were two dots down here, then you can all decide as a group that no, that really is more important. Okay. So I want to share another couple of tools.
Why are different?
Does everyone have...
Minimize the amount of work we
Okay, leader, you've decided on one thing, right?
What was the name of the book that the guy...
Have you decided one thing? Okay, you've made a decision?
4 hour.
Okay, everybody make sure you've made a decision. Here's a new tool. Now, if we had time, we would make a challenge graph. This is a very useful thing for making a portfolio of innovation activities. And what is impact is on one axis, feasibility on the other. And you would be taking all of the interesting challenges and graphing them. Now, the stuff with high impact that you can do generally is the stuff you should do. However, the next step is to put a red dot on things that are doable and quick, just to get momentum for making innovations and changes. Okay? Unfortunately, we don't have time, so we're not going to do this one. And what we're going to do is we're going to move to the next task, and that is to choose your extremes and analogies. Okay. So this is the final session of today, extremes and analogies. You remember this? Okay. So for the one challenge you're going to work on, you will identify who's the lows, who's the highs. Remember, 16 hours a day in the kitchen, trouble with kitchen tools, and you will identify who's at least one analogy. Remember that? You have to go where they are, right? Otherwise, you don't know the woman opens the pill bottle with the ham slicer. Okay? Remember, it's not about the technology. You have to go to the homes and the workplaces and find out what are the needs. Okay, now, it's time to diverge on extremes and analogies. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to take your one dot off. Well, you're going to do that better than I did because I don't want to lose them. You're going to draw low, high, and analogy, and start saying, okay, if we want to get out of the office and learn from the lows, who would we go and investigate? If we want to get out of the office and learn from the highs and the analogies, where are we going to go? Okay, 10 minutes. Go. Now, I got to find Randeep and some of the other guys because they said I could go to 4:30, even though I had planned 4. Yeah, where's Randeep or yeah, okay, target 4 o'clock. And if you go to 4:30, it's totally fine. Is it totally fine? It's fine. It's fine. Nobody minds? Nobody. Thank you, I love all of you. Okay. Tell me when to shut up if need be. Okay. Okay. Well, right in. One more feedback and more response. Thank you. Okay. How might
There's been a group that chose
feedback and response?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I have been about less than 2 weeks. I will have 14 weeks.
Fascinating to see that,
Feedback and response is no problem. So maybe I could go to teenagers and find out how
That was the
there's
topic.
feedback and responsive, and yet whoever I'm trying to get feedback and response, no feedback and response. What are some other analogies?
But that's good.
For feedback and response.
But I mean, why do you want the economic development? Because you want to be happy.
It's an employee thing.
Yeah, exactly.
So you want colleagues to feedback and boss to give good feedback.
Yeah, actually it's true.
Seva decided she wants to settle down in Thailand.
I mean, I can never change my base from Washington, but I mean, I can definitely, at least now I don't see it, but yeah, I love this place.
Who else?
Really?
Who else responds? Customers in what circumstances? Oh, okay. So, feedback and response in your organization. People who are not responsible.
Where is this stuff on this? Huh. Yeah.
This is the high, and this is the base.
At the airport.
Not even on a curve.
Oh my God. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God.
Just like basically recreating your life in India.
Oh my God.
You're saying that, I mean, princess, so she's already now thinking.
Yeah. I'm like, is this in
These
Bangkok?
guys
Is this in property in Bangkok? Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. Ah.
Yeah, 7% return is good.
Yeah. Exactly.
Non-smokers.
But you own the parcel, right? You cannot own land.
In which they're spending a little bit of
Yeah.
time every day here.
Fine.
Or etc. But you gotta get out.
Yeah, climate change.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's another
That's fine. Wow, so you're serious. I'm just like, I love this place. So I mean, definitely, if I can do it, I'll do it. Yes. But yeah, why do you need the language? Yeah. Yeah. And the medical stuff is very good here.
So this is the one, and you want to increase it. So
The angiogram showed something. Yeah. Yeah.
That's why they have like medical tourism to India. It's the same reason. I mean, they've been offering trips to India to remove gallbladder.
Right. No, the medical stuff is very good here. It's a nice place. In South? Yeah. Oh my, so you don't need to go to this one. Exactly. Sounds good, Randy.
A situation completely outside.
But your brother is here, right? Your brother is now here.
They do something well, like talking to each other. And we're not doing it. Can I learn from a Catholic priest how to listen better?
Really?
They're professional listeners. Why do you put it?
It's not an easy game.
What makes it better?
So my swing is really horrible because do a stroke was not there for a stroke, and it's been a disaster. The kids were like laughing.
But it's a good exercise. I mean, well,
it's a good exercise.
Yeah, you walk.
The first time I went for golf, I don't know if you remember my book.
Oh my God!
Some of us.
Mike took me to the golf course, and the first thing I saw was this guy coming with cold beer. I said, "This is what you can a golf course?" He says, "Yeah, you can have a cold beer." I said, "I like this game. It's good."
I'm sorry.
Yeah. But you know who was a good golfer? Sandy's husband.
Oh yeah.
Who? Mohsen. Oh yeah? Oh yeah?
My first encounter with World Bank Corruption was on the golf course.
When I give these one,
They offered you a bronze?
Big. Never demotivated then after being.
This was in 94.
The team leader was giving the project coordinator?
And you won.
The team leader was on the table. Also, in addition to the project coordinator.
Right.
It's doable, but it's too small. And that sweet spot in the middle is really hard.
Wow.
So I wish I could give you a nice answer to that, but the real answer is that it takes judgment to find out what's Inspiring.
Only you will come up with
It's extremely hard to do. Get smaller is better.
Oh my God.
Because remember, you
We had a misprocurement in Ethiopia. So Fitz Bonixhofer and I went to look at the evaluation reports of this if misprocurement. There were 9 bidders. 7 bidders had the very same technologies, identical, word for word, identical. And basically, it was all the government had already decided to give it to. So they had all these shadow companies and all of that submitting bids, but with identical stuff. So we told them that the bank is not going to finance this and you need to go back to the and so we came back and unfortunately we were back when we came back. You know Shanti Nambara. I was having lunch with Shanti Nambara. Having lunch and he says, so we got he says, no, it's Chinese food. Okay. He says the word on the street is that you cancel the because you so then I said, okay, I'm happy to go to the law discuss that. I said, can you give this any of this to me in writing? He said, no, you can't. But it was fascinating. The deputation is the one to not just the right what you think is the right thing. Exactly. Anyway, live and learn. Right? Yeah. Why do they? Exactly. Exactly. I agree with you. Exactly. The report read corruption in Bangladesh, and the client has said straight. He says if you want to
That's the perception. That's your sign. I said meter is not working.
Ding, 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 ding. All right. So, you guys have been doing great. You're all awake and you are fully engaged. Now, a number of the groups had similar problems. So some of them said low, high. What does that mean? And they're such wonderful workers. They're still at it. Ding, 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 ding. If you can hear me, raise your hand. You're the most wonderful group because you guys are really into it, and I am so glad. Okay, some of the groups had similar problems. One problem was, how do we define what's a low and what's a high? We want to go paperless. Okay, so low would be your least paperless people in the organization. Who's pushing all the paper? Hi, is there anybody who's working without paper? Go see what they're doing. Analogies. People had, in general, some problems with analogies. Now, analogous thinking or lateral thinking is the stuff in which you have to go into depth at what you're trying to do. All right? We want to serve emergency room patients. So we go deeper and say, okay, we need speed and it's got to be right. Then you look completely outside your industry. You look at something completely different and see, hey, they're doing a good job of this. Let's go learn from them and bring it back. For example, this group over here said, you know, we want more feedback and more responsiveness. And so one of the things we realized is in less than 2 weeks, I'm going to have 4 teenagers at home. We have a lot of feedback and responsiveness. So how does that happen? How does it work in a family? And why is it so much with teenagers that they give you a lot of feedback and response? Why does that happen? How can we make more teenagers at work, basically? Another thing that we thought about was communication. There are some groups of people in the organization who really share their problems and bounce ideas. And when are they doing that? On smoking break. So you may discover a behavior of people on smoking break outside your building, and you want to bring back that behavior, not the smoking. You bring back the communication behavior into the building and find ways for everybody to do it. Okay, so these are some of the things that you learn. Now, in order to get you out of here, okay, on time isn't going to happen. But what we can do is get out of here kind of quickly. I want to share with you a couple tools. So we're not going to converge on the analogies and plan where you're going to go. I will share with you what you might do once you get there. A classic tool of design thinking is the persona. Oh, yes, you can sit down. I'm sorry. So once you go out and investigate about 10 situations, you're going to come up with some patterns. You're going to start seeing the same thing again. Now, a persona is not the same thing as a demographic. What is a demographic? Can you give me an example? Age. Okay, so our market comprises the young saver, the middle years, the elder years. You know, it depends on your race, your geography, your age. A persona is not that. It depends on your needs. So someone very young and someone very old may have the same need, but it's completely different demography. All right? So once you start seeing patterns, you're going to put a picture of a person who represents that lifestyle or that set of needs. And you will need to write down what is it they do and say and think and feel. And if you cannot write something in these 4 quadrants, you don't really understand them. Okay, the second thing that I want to make sure you've heard about is a journey map. Now, sometimes your government service is terrific, but nobody can find it. Or your product is wonderful. It's just that nobody can buy it. So in that case, don't make your government service better. It's fine. That's not the problem. Don't make your product better. It's fine. Make it easier to buy your product, okay? So what you do is you start with today. What are the steps that people have to go through to use our product or service, okay? And what do they do, say, think, and feel every step of the way? Once you actually lay it out, you're going to realize you don't understand part of it. You have to go find out. Then you do fill it in, and then you find the real pain points. And they may be pain points that you didn't even know were there. Then you draw a new journey. And the new journey map is the future one you're going to create. It's the future way to buy your product, the future way to get your government service. And it's going to be easy and happy. All right. Afterwards, you're going to map your next steps. You're going to list out what challenge are you going to work on? What lows are you going to go out and observe and ask questions? What's your highs? What's your analogies? If you don't assign a leader, it isn't going to happen. They've got to produce something sometime. It could just be a few photographs that someone brings back by 2 weeks from now. That's okay. Just get something and bring it back. And then who's going to check up on them and when? So this might be something you want to wrap up with at the end of this workshop. Okay. Time to share. Insights. You've listened to a lot of different things in design thinking. What can you take away? What's of value? What did you learn? Anything at all? Pardon? No. Yeah. What have you learned? What has design thinking so far? What has it taught you? What's important to take away today? Anything? Huh?
How to define problems. How to find needs.
How to define problems and find needs. That's very, very important. Because are you going to get the right solution if you work on the wrong problem? Probably not. And it's all based on needs. Doesn't matter what technology you use as long as it works. But you'd better design it for the way people want to use it. And for their real needs. Yeah, good. Anybody else? What can you take away?
Creative thinking framework. Come back to you.
Yeah, some creative thinking techniques. To get up, to listen to each other, to build on others' ideas, to diverge and make it crazy, then, because you know, one of the things that we say in the industry is, it's a lot easier to make a wild idea workable than to make a mediocre idea great. What else can you take away? Yeah. Mm-hmm. 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 Exactly. So listening and building on others' ideas, that's extremely important. And you know, there's a phrase that we use all the time, and you can start using this phrase. It's called yes and. The next time you say yes, but, don't. Make yourself say yes and you will change your thinking. You will force yourself to build on what the other person has said.
เราอย่าเป็นข้าราชการเยอะเกินไปข้าราชการนี่ไม่เป็นหลักถูกไหมฮะเราเริ่มต้นจากไม่ก็คือจบต้อง yes and no in Thailand is no and okay because as a bureaucrat we usually say no and something but นะครับ yes and นี่ผมว่าเป็น attitude นะฮะที่ดีนะครับทัศนคติที่ดีในการทำงานนะครับไม่ใช่ yes but นั่นก็คือทำให้เขาคนที่พูดเนี่ยเสียกำลังใจ ต้อง yes and ก็คือเราจะได้ build หรือว่าต่อยอดมันได้นะครับเป็นทัศนคติที่สำคัญมากของการจะเป็นเจ้านายคนนะครับ
Now another important question for innovation is what would need to be true. Okay, so you may have identified a project, you may have identified the low, the high, the analogy. You may go through the entire design thinking process. But you've got to ask yourself, what would need to be true for this to really happen? Okay, have that thinking now, have that conversation now. So now I have one final question for you. And I better move this over without killing somebody. Thank you. I have one final question for you, which was actually best said by a fish. Sharef? No, Sharef is not the fish. No, you just had to click play. Oh, no. Ay, ay, ay. No. Okay.
I've ever seen.
Come on, Peach.
Oh.
Now what?
Okay. Thank you all very much. And now, the now what's in your organization are up to you. Thank you very much.
Beyond the sea, somewhere waiting for me.
If you would like a name card, they are up here. If you would like to talk more about your challenges, yes, I'm still around, and I think we're all having a nice dinner. Yep.
โอเคไหมครับก็เป็น Design Thinking นะฮะเป็นกระบวนการนะฮะเป็นเครื่องมือที่ใช้ในการเปิดโอกาสนะครับแล้วก็อย่าลืมว่าคนที่เราอยากจะช่วยเขาเนี่ยเราต้องฟังเสียงเขาเยอะเข้าใจเขานะครับแล้วก็ไปสังเกตเขารู้พฤติกรรมเขาและเทคโนโลยีเนี่ยมันเป็นตัวช่วยเสริมอย่าเริ่มต้นจากเทคโนโลยีนะครับไม่งั้นจะเป็นข้าราชการนะครับเราเริ่มต้นจากเทคโนโลยีถูกไหมครับเราต้องเริ่มต้นจากคนที่เราอยากจะไปช่วยนะครับอย่างที่ผมเล่าตอนนั้นไปกพลไปอุดรนะครับอยากจะปรับปรุงเทคโนโลยีเขาบอกว่าเขาอยากได้ทำบัตรประชาชนครึ่งวัน18 นาทีไม่เอานะครับเพราะว่าเขาอยากจะมีโอกาสคุยกับเพื่อนบ้านซึ่งเสียเวลาเดินข้ามอำเภอเข้ามานะครับด้วยนี้อย่าเริ่มต้นจากเทคโนโลยีเริ่มต้นจากเสียงพฤติกรรมความต้องการของคนนะฮะแล้วก็เราดูจากเทคโนโลยีหลังจากนั้นต้องดูว่า business solution ของเราเนี่ยมันมีความเป็นไปได้หรือเปล่าแล้วมันนะครับคุ้มค่าหรือคุ้มทุนหรือเปล่านะครับ
So I would like to thank Dr. Meadows and Sharif for an excellent session. I very much enjoyed the way that it was presented. And one important thing, yesterday we picked up some challenges, right? So each team has a challenge which they will be working on and will be presenting on the last day. I think this whole approach of design thinking is extremely relevant to advancing your own thoughts on how you should be looking at those challenges. So you can have another opportunity to practice those ideas as part of what you do while making your presentation on those 10 challenges which the 10 groups are having. So with that, I think we come to a close of today for today, and thank you very much.
Okay,